Hey guys, how's it going? Otaku Mike here, back again with another video for you guys today. We're doing another manga first impressions video. If you're new to the channel and you like the content that I create, please consider liking, subscribing, share the video, and let's get into this today. We're looking at a very spicy manga, one for those people who are, dare I say, cultured individuals. We are looking at Manga Diary of a Male Porn Star. Let's get into this. Alright, so as I said, we're looking at Volume 1 of Manga Diary of a Male Porn Star. This is published by Seven Seas Entertainment under their Ghost Ship line. So if you're not into the ecchi, adult content, this manga will probably not be for you. But if you like that kind of content, stay tuned. I'll tell you all about this manga. Synopsis time. Alright, so what is this Diary of a Male Porn Star all about? Well, this is about a young man right here, if you guys can see it, right there. This guy right here named Kaeruno. Kaeruno is a young man in his 20s. He just is newly divorced after a 3 to 4 year relationship. He is from a small town. He decides to go to the big city, and he doesn't really know what to do with his life. He's kind of got this fresh start thing trying to go for him. A year later, he doesn't still have a job, which I don't think he has a job at this point. He's hanging out with some friends at a bar, and one of his friends is like, "Hey, Kaeruno, you haven't really done anything with your life, but hey, check this guy out over here. This is my friend over here named Aki. And Aki is a producer for adult films." And Kaeruno, he perks up. And he's like, "What? Adult films? Really?" He's like, "Hey, can I come with you to watch one of the filmings for an adult film porno?" And he's like, "No. The crew is too small. You'll just kind of get in the way. We don't do that kind of thing, But if you want to come in for a scene, and we'll get you into that adult video, And he's like, you can come in as a Shiru actor. And he's like, "What's a Shiru actor?" And a Shiru actor is apparently somebody who stands there, jerks it off, and gets a happy ending and does it on a girl, and their face is blurred, so he doesn't have to worry about exposing his identity because he's going to be an adult film. And he's like, "Yeah, what the hell? You only live once." He goes to his first adult film set. He starts to learn about the porn industry. He has a really uncomfortable scenario happen with the cameraman. The cameraman is kind of hovering over his face while the female actor pleasures Kaeruno, because he comes to find out there's no other guy there, so he's the only guy, and they're going to do a POV shot. And how they do a POV shot, he lays on the mattress, the guy kind of kneels over him with his butt in Kaeruno's face, and Kaeruno's like, "Oh man, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get hard for this?" That's probably one of the funniest scenes in here, is him, thinking he's going to get some ED and not be able to perform. And little does he know, he does pretty well. And he's so excited, he finished his first scene. He's like, "Oh man, that was cool, that's cool." He calls up Aki, his new friend, and he's like, Aki, I did it. I got paid, and somebody sucked my dick." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's good. Hey, you ready to come back the next time for the next scene?" And he's like, "What, the next scene?" He's like, "Yeah, you can do this again. So basically, that's this in a nutshell. That's the beginning of this manga. I don't want to spoil too much for this manga for anybody who is looking to read it, but this is basically about Kaeruno in his new position, or trying to be an up-and-coming male porn star. And that's really what this manga is all about. And you get to see the ins and outs of how exactly the porn industry works in Japan. You get to see the ups, the downs, the highs and lows. Whether or not Kaeruno wants to actually show his face in a porno. Kirino is probably one of the funniest parts in this because you get a lot of his inner dialogue, which I thought was really funny because he's just a normal dude who kind of looks like a potato wearing wearing underwear. That's what he looks like for like most of the manga, which is really funny. And everybody else looks kind of like normal. But yeah, I'll show you guys some of the artwork as we get into this. So here's actually some of the artwork, and I was a little worried when I first cracked this open because it is laid out like a 4-panel Koma manga. So here is some of the artwork right here, and it's very, very cartoony and very humorous. We do get some ecchi right there, And I was a little worried, but I really like the artwork. I think the artwork actually does a good job at portraying what our main character is going through. It's funny. His expressions on his face are hysterical. Which I was a little worried, but because I thought it was going to be a 4-Koma manga when I opened it up. But no, it's structured like a 4-panel manga with 4 panels, but you get a continuous story for each chapter, a beginning, middle, and end for each chapter. It's not like a page or two and then it ends. It's like, you get a couple pages. So you get some really, really funny stuff. Like, how Kirino ends up going to become a hand model for a particular girl, and he becomes her bra. This is a really funny manga. I highly recommend it. It's ecchi, but it's not over the top ecchi, over sexualized, but they do give you a really very interesting look at the adult film world, because Kirino thinks it's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck all these girls and we're just gonna have fun, but he actually has to work and do other things as well. And it's interesting to see his career progress over the manga as a whole, because there was a point in the manga actually where he ends up not getting anything for a month, and he's like, oh man, this sucks. And then it starts to pick up. He starts to do other things. He becomes like an assistant at one point, which is pretty cool, and does all these really, really funny things. Just looking through this is really funny. I highly recommend this. If you're looking for a good, funny, ecchi comedy that's not like your normal ecchi comedies, I highly recommend y'all check this out. It's well worth the read. I was pleasantly surprised that I already thought going in that I would enjoy this, but I ended up enjoying this a lot more than I actually thought I would. It's crude, it's rude, it's very much like an adult's crude comedy that you would get a hold of. It's funny. It's legitimately laugh out loud funny. There were parts in this where I was like, oh my god, that is funny as shit. I kind of wonder, is this somewhat autobiographical maybe? Did the author, or was the author an adult porn star? Who knows? How did he learn all about the adult industry? I would love to see that part. I'm looking forward to reading more of this manga. This manga is well worth your time, your money, and yeah, you get to see some hen titties, as my friend Weeb Daddy from Meet the Weeb Family says. You gotta love those hen titties, and you get to see some titties in this, which is pretty good. But yeah, definitely recommend this. But if you're not an adult, do not pick this up. This is not for you. I will tell you that much. This is for adult or mature readers. If you're a child or a teenager, you might not be picking this up. It definitely warrants its warning on the back that says parental advisory. Look at that. That's funny. That's funny right there. But yeah, go check this out. It's well worth the read, in my opinion, as a man of culture. Just saying.